right, everybody, it's meat haul time. Okay, so I have had a few requests for a video, and what it's about is one of the main foods I eat almost every single day. I mean, and to be fair, I will eat it every day as long as I have them available. And so I run out of them, but guess what? I make them all the time. And what is that? That's my FlaVore meatballs. So why do I call it my FlaVore meatballs? Well, it's my carnivore meatball, but it's my flavor style. That's FLAVORE. And so what I do is I introduce some spices into it, some rubs into it, things like that, that are still, in my eyes, carnivore friendly, meaning there is no carbs of any measurable amount and there is no sugar of any measurable amount. As long as on the nutrition label it does not have a measurable amount on there, I feel that it's pretty safe. And if sugar is one of the last ingredients on the ingredients, just below that little label, then that usually means that there's not enough in there of any measurable amount. And so I feel that that's safe for me. What is it doing? Well, it's allowing me to have flavorful meals every time I have something, and I don't get bored with this, what we'll call diet, because it is, but I won't get bored with it if it's not a bland tasting thing. By having a little bit of flavor in my food, this helps me keep on track on my carnivore diet and my whole goal of which is really weight loss. But I'll tell you what, wait till you see my week 4 update coming up in a few days. Some amazing changes has happened besides weight loss, and I can't wait to share that with you. So today we're going to Sam's Club, and you can get this at Costco, you can get this anywhere, but right now my store of choice is Sam's Club. I found that their meat is a little bit more affordable than Costco right now, and let's face it, you know, beef is crazy expensive right now. So anywhere where I can cut a few dollars here and there to stay within my budget for my diet, I'm gonna do that. Hey, with that being said, it's ground beef. It's something that they put together. So is it the best? Well, I mean, for a store, sure, why not? But you really don't know what's going into there. You don't know how old that meat is, and you really don't know what the fat content is, and you don't really know how much, you know, water they put in there, lots of things like that. So obviously, if you have the option to grind your own meat, do it. And in this channel, we're gonna get into that because I just recently got a whole bunch of meat processing equipment, and we're gonna do that very same thing. But for today, we're gonna go to a meat haul at Sam's Club. We're gonna bring it back. I'm gonna show you how I prepare all the little meatballs and everything, season them up and all that. And I'm gonna show you a way how to cook them that I think everybody right nowadays, if you're into backyard cooking at all, you probably have a pellet smoker. Well, I just got a brand new one from Z Grills. This is gonna be the first day that I use it, but I'm really excited about it because I love the whole like set it and forget it type cook. And that's what pellet grills really offer. Most of the time on my Mr. Flavor Smith channel, I actually use my Weber 22-inch kettle, and I cook a lot of things like that on there. I actually did some meatballs yesterday on my Weber 22-inch kettle, but that method takes just a little bit more attention, and what I'm really about for this channel is ease of life. So not only having an easy diet to eat, but also an easy diet to prepare for everybody, because if it's not easy, and that's the bottleneck, is actually cooking it, then you're not gonna do it, and then you're probably not gonna eat good, and you're gonna fall off the bandwagon on the diet. So today, I'm going to show you how to do it on a pellet smoker. Stick around. Wow, it's really crowded here today. This is Friday, late morning. This place is packed. Let's get to the meat section. You've got the big chubs. Well, these things are 50 bucks. Pre-made patties. Don't ever get pre-made patties because they're like 70% fat. It just burns your grill. And these are what we're after right here. These are only 27 bucks for just roughly under 5 pounds of meat. So I like to always pull from the bottom if I can. But I tell you what, this one looks pretty good. There it is. So this is 4.85 pounds for $27.84. And it is 88% lean, 12% fat. This is what we're getting. So the chub is a pretty cool piece. That is, I believe that's 10 pounds. 10 pounds of 90% lean. So if you're trying to cut down on your fat intake just a little bit to lose some weight a little bit quicker, then that's a good way of doing it, just by going from like 80% to 90%. And so a 10-pound chub for just around 50 bucks, that's not too bad. For me, I'm looking more for that 80 to 88%. And the reason why is I right now still 4 weeks into this, I still have a little bit of an appetite, and I'm a big guy. You know, I'm 6'2". I was 296 pounds. I'm now like 284, something like that. For me, it's really important to keep that fat content up because that helps curb my appetite. I think maybe next week I'll start cutting back my fat content just a little bit and just kind of play with that and see if that actually still keeps me full or not. For me, I like the 88% lean ground beef. That works out really good. All right, let's pay for it, get back home and get these meatballs all prepped up. I just want to mention something that's pretty cool that just happened at Sam's Club. So here I am, I've got my phone out, I'm snapping some photos of a nutrition fact on the back of the label of the seasoning we're gonna use. I've used this seasoning a bunch, I just used it again yesterday, but I wanted to snap some photos to show you guys what I was talking about all the different ingredients that are on there. And as I'm doing it, a gentleman comes up to me and he says, hey, is that some sort of app you have that keeps track of everything or anything like that? Because I watch a lot of YouTube, I'm trying to like watch my stuff, or I think that's what he said. Super cool guy. And I was like, actually, it's kind of funny because I'm doing a YouTube video today for my FlaVore meatballs. And I told him I have a cooking channel and, you know, this is the Carnivore Diet Life channel. And he was like, oh my gosh, I've been on like a Ketovore diet since February and I've lost 40 pounds. How awesome is that? And he was probably, I'm gonna say like, maybe mid 50s, something like that. Just a super nice guy, and he looks really fit. And we started comparing notes about like, hey, how do you feel? You know, what are some of the things that you've seen, the benefits from switching over to this more of a Ketovore diet? Really great to just compare notes and everything. I have to say, guys, this is the best community. I've been involved with a bunch of different communities throughout my professional life, and the carnivore, Ketovore, the healthy living community has got to be the coolest group of people. Like, so cool. At some point in time, I'm gonna get together some events or something like that where we can all meet up, maybe regionally or something. But as the channel gets bigger, I definitely want to do that because I want to meet you guys in person. Seeing people like that and just like, you know, everybody vibing off of each other, just super cool. So I just wanted to throw that in there and say, you guys are awesome. And sir, I am so sorry I did not get your name, but thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, and I can't wait to talk to you again in the future. Okay, let's just take our almost 5 pounds of ground beef, open the package, and we're gonna work 1/2 of the total weight of this at a time. So we'll just start pulling it out of here. And then what I like to do is I like to just really break it up as best as I can and lay it throughout the inner part of the bowl. Then we're gonna put our birria seasoning on here. I get this stuff from Sam's Club and it's awesome. And it has 0 carbs and 0 sugar. It has a little sugar in the ingredients, but it's all the way at the bottom. So it doesn't even register on the nutrition facts, so we're okay. And I just go ahead and just lay it on nice and generously. Then we're gonna take our Redmond's Ancient Salt. We're gonna lay a little bit inside here. I don't normally put it on the inside of meatballs, but I figured I'd try it this time. And this stuff is awesome, really flavorish. And then we have our sweet paprika. It's a Hungarian sweet paprika. I love sweet paprika and I love this Hungarian stuff. Been using it in our family forever. I am part Hungarian, so same thing. We're gonna lay this in generously as well. I'm not measuring any of this stuff. I'm just going by touch. And then some granulated garlic by Kirkland. Garlic just adds another layer of flavor to it that I feel for meatballs is perfect. Then we're just gonna take it all and we're just gonna start mixing it up. Mix it up pretty good. Once we blend everything together and you can kind of see where the paprika and everything changes the color, then we smash it down with our knuckles in here, making another little flat area, completely flatten it out inside the bowl. And then we just do the same thing, lay on another layer of that same amount of seasoning. This just makes sure that we get flavor all throughout the entire thing. And then same thing, just all the same ingredients. Go ahead, I pull these apart, I lay them, I stack them on top of each other. This allows, you know, a nice even mix, and then just mix it all together. Stick that whole pile aside, and we're gonna do the same thing with the other half now. I like to do 1/2 of the meat at a time. That way I make sure it's really getting all the seasonings and blending it well together. Then we take both piles, combine them together if you want, or just start making your meatballs. And I just take a little bit at a time, something that's about the size of like a very large golf ball or a very large egg. And we just repeat that process, and we just go ahead and start tearing it apart and rolling it up really good in our hands, and then just kind of forming the meatball. Sometimes you have to press it together with your hands, like really push it together if the meat's not wanting to really make a nice tight meatball, and you're just pressing it together. And then just go ahead and repeat this whole entire process through all the meatballs. And then we're good to go. Let's get the pellet smoker set up. All right, and here's what we're gonna cook those meatballs on today. It's a brand new Z Grills. This is a pellet smoker that came from the company called Z Grills. This is the very initial run. I didn't have a bottle of champagne to break on it, so we're just gonna go with it. I've got cherry pellets in the hopper right now. Let me show you what that looks like. Here's the hopper, and there's our cherry pellets. All right, and it's smoking away, doing its initial burn. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. Oh yeah, and there we are. That's our grilling area. This is our heat probe. This is our drip pan that then directs all the drippings down into our collection bin that's right here. Let's close it back up. This is what we're gonna be smoking the meatballs on today. It doesn't have to be this unit. There are a lot of different smokers out there, so any smoker you can get your hands on will do the job. This is not a hard cook to do. We're shooting for about 154 degrees internal temperature, so we will probe the fattest meatball that we have on here, and once we hit 154 degrees, we'll pull it, and then it'll get close to 160 degrees, which is the temperature that you should be doing ground beef in. Ground beef is made up of a lot of different parts of the animal. Ground beef, as you know, carnivores out there, is made up of a lot of different parts of the animal. So some of these parts should probably be cooked a little bit more than you would cook a conventional steak or something like that. But look at this thing smoking away on its inaugural run. I am loving it. This should really produce some very, very awesome flavors, and right now this bad boy is shooting for ambient temperature of 300. We're now at 220 degrees, and it's only been going for about a minute, so we'll check back in a few minutes. All right, here we go. Set our probe up on probe number 1. And right here is a little gasket for the probe to go through. Stick that all the way through. Lift it up. Feed the wire all the way through. And we're going to put it in place on one of these meatballs. It's a pretty big meatball right here. Stick the probe in there. Right about into the middle. Close it up. And always before any cook, if you know, you know. All right, so I told you I'm really excited about this little pellet smoker. Why am I excited about pellet smoker? Well, it's like an easy bake oven, right? So you kind of set it and forget it. And this is gonna produce some really awesome pieces of meat for us. And what a pellet smoker is able to do is it's able to easily flavor stack. And that's something I like. And especially since we're trying not to use a lot of different ingredients all the time in what we're cooking. Sometimes we just want to keep it as plain as we can. And adding that layer of smoke to any dish, any piece of meat you're cooking, whatever it is, that's gonna make me really happy. It's gonna make my palate happy, and it's gonna make me keep wanting to do this whole carnivore diet life. I'm not gonna get bored with what I'm eating because I'm able to mix things up a little bit. And this is the very first time I've used this pellet grill, so I'm very interested to see what it does with meatballs. If it does something good with meatballs, it's gonna do some really good stuff with some other things too. And I'm excited to see, I'm cooking this at a very low temperature. So this is between 195 degrees Fahrenheit and 210 degrees Fahrenheit. And why I'm excited about that is this is gonna be a perfect temperature for meat sticks, sausages, you know, doing like a slow smoke. Now originally I was gonna set this at about 250 degrees, and it would take about 45 minutes to an hour to cook these meatballs. But at 200 degrees, where it's kind of bouncing at right now, it's taking me close to an hour and 45 minutes right now. So we should really get a lot of smoke flavor onto these meatballs. But We just have a few minutes left to go and see, because right now we're sitting at an internal temperature of 147 degrees with an ambient temperature of 200 degrees, right on the money right now. We want to be with an internal temperature of 154 degrees. That's when we're going to pull these things, at 154, maybe 155 degrees. Look. Oh yeah, the meat is rendering down. Check that out. So it's doing its thing. Just a few more minutes, and I'll show you what, next time it does its smoke mode, I'll show you what that looks like. All right, you carnivores, here it comes. Like I said, about every 5 minutes, there's the smoke. It's coming out. It comes out through the bottom of the lid where the lid makes contact with the smoke chamber. And then right out our smokestack. And even over here, check that out. And our grease catch right there just comes out. So this happens about every 5 minutes. And what this means is we should have a lot of smoke, a really beautiful smoke ring penetrating into those meatballs. That is a beautiful, nice, clean smoke. It is not a dirty smoke. It's like a light white. It's like a very white, almost a light blue hue to it. That's what we're after. It is perfect. Way to go, Z-Grills. This thing. Check this out. 195 degrees ambient temperature and probe 147. We've probably got, I was thinking 10 more minutes, but at this low temperature, sitting at 195 degrees, it's probably gonna be like another 20 minutes before we get to another, what are we looking at? Maybe like 8 degrees, something like that. We'll see. We'll come back when it's done at 154. All right, this has taken 3 hours so far. So I bumped it up to 250 degrees ambient, and we have an internal temperature on the probe of 154 degrees. So it is ready to pull. Let's check it out. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, you gotta smell this. I wish you could smell it, but check out these meatballs. Wow, man, the color on these things are just amazing. Oh, these are gonna be so flavoricious. All right, let's pull them. First, let's turn this off. Turn it down into the shutdown cycle. All right, so this is the cycle that just probably prevents the auger from moving forward anymore and putting any pellets back into that fire pot. That would be what I imagine. And it lets those kind of burn off a little bit. So we'll let that just do that for a couple of minutes while we pull the meatballs off. Let's see if I can pull this probe out of here real quick. All right. Look at that meatball right there. That looks amazing. Oh, these look great. Get all these meatballs in here and take a photo. Way to go, Z-Grills. Check those smoked meatballs out. I tell you what, those look amazing. All right, time has come. I'm gonna bite into this meatball. Cheers. That looks so good. I'm not gonna lie. That right there, that is a good meatball. Wow, so, I need a minute on. Got a lot going on there. What's really great about this is I was able to taste the spices that I put into the meat originally. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes the smoke flavor on the outside overpowers the real flavor of the meat. On the pellet smoker, on this one anyway, and I super smoked this thing, had a smoke ring and everything, the flavor of the smoke isn't overpowering. So it really just complements everything else that's going on. My first time using this thing, and I wanted you guys to see it because I feel that a pellet smoker is something that everybody can get their hands on now. It's really easy to incorporate it into your life because it really is kind of like a set it and forget it thing. I was a little worried because this cook went 3 hours that these meatballs were going to be dried out too much. That was not the case at all. Low and slow at 200 degrees on that smoke mode for almost 3 hours, like I would say 2 hours and like 55 minutes. Amazing. It wasn't until the last like 10 minutes I bumped it up to 250 degrees, but I was already sitting at like 150. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was already sitting at like 150 degrees Fahrenheit on internal temperature. I just didn't want to wait another half hour, so I bumped it up to 250, and it got me to the 154 within 10 minutes. This is a super easy way to cook your meats and add an extra layer of flavor to things that is probably going to make it a little bit easier to sustain this whole carnivore diet for you and for your family. And not only that, but it also allows you to cook a carnivore meal for, I mean, let's face it, you know, it's game season coming up right here. Football's right around the corner on everything. You're going to have a lot of holiday things coming up, and living that carnivore diet life, you got to come up with some things that you're going to be able to do this year, you know? And like, I think adding a element of smoke to it is just going to make it a little bit more normal for everybody else. Even if you don't put those other spices in it, I think just stacking on a little layer of smoke to it is going to do enough for you. Hey guys, if you got any value out of this video at all, please do me a huge favor. Like this video, comment. Did you find this interesting? And what do you want to see next with the pellet smoker? What other carnivore meal would you like to see on the pellet smoker? And are you using a pellet smoker for your carnivore life? And if so, what pellet smoker? And even more so, what pellet flavor are you going with? This was cherry. Next time, I'm gonna try something different. And as always, subscribe to the channel. It helps me produce more valuable content like this for you in the future. I'm hoping you're digging it on a carnivore diet life.